What's up, Clash Bros? What's up, Royale family? It's Marcus or Epic Life Gaming. Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. So the new update is here, the balance changes have been put into place, and we all know that the 4th skeleton has now been removed from the 1 elixir skeleton card, so that you only get 3 of them. Everybody's wondering where the 4th skeleton went, and some people on Reddit had some good ideas of where he could have gone. I thought those were pretty good, so I wanted to add those to the video. Shout out to everybody that made those on Reddit. So today, we're actually going to add the 4th skeleton to the deck. We're going to go around Supercell and the changes they made to the game, and we're going to go ahead and add the 4th skeleton, which is the giant skeleton. He's going to be our 4th skeleton in this battle deck that we have built. This deck is really good, and it actually surprised me. I was actually doing this gameplay, not really recording anything, and all of a sudden I realized how powerful this deck was. So we're just gonna go ahead and watch these 3 battles in a row and watch me destroy these guys. So our first battle is with King Kring 2. And we're going to go against this guy. We got the giant skeleton to start off with, but I didn't want to use this guy right away because I kind of wanted to add him into the deck when I got the other skeletons. But I said, screw it, let's go ahead and do the giant skeleton Hog Rider push. Especially caught him off guard because he just laid down his giant on the left lane. So he really didn't have nothing to stop me. I'm going to go ahead and throw my bomber to help out my Hog Rider. The giant bomb was on the tower, so I was able to catch some of that damage when it exploded. And I got the tower down to 230 with my very first push. And now he has a decent push of his own, but the Inferno Tower is able to grab that giant right there. And now we only have to deal with a couple of his cards. Take down the wizard with only getting 1 shot off. I think that's a pretty good even trade, 230 for 2074. So we're waiting for our next push. We're going to go ahead and actually add the elixir pump, I believe, right now. Instead of going on with another push of ours, we're going to wait and build up, but we didn't have enough time. We had to deal with this Hog Rider that was coming down our left lane. Go ahead, drop the fireball. I see a lot of people using that card to stop the giant or the Hog Rider on their push, so I decided to do it myself since I really didn't have any other cards to stop them. You see a lot of people now that have 2 different pushing cards, like the Hog Rider and the giant like this guy, or the Royal Giant and Hog Rider. So it's actually good to have 2 defense cards in your deck to battle these guys, because me only holding the Inferno Tower, I'm only going to really be able to stop one of the pushes. One of the cards is going to be able to make it to my tower. This guy dropped down the minion horde thinking he was going to be flashy with those, but I go ahead, drop down my fire spirits, would take out a little bit more than half of the minions, and luckily that big bombs goes off and takes down all those cards before they can get any damage on my right hand tower. Now I'm going to start to push my own. I know he has barbarians, so I bring my bomber with me, and we were able to grab that tower. I threw down that fireball, not expecting my Hog Rider to grab that tower, so I threw down the fireball to get rid of the rest of those barbarians, and we did a good job. So let's go ahead and pump up again and see if we can get another small push going. I do have the Inferno Tower once again, so we're going to place that down because we have time to kill. Elixir is just building up like crazy with our 2 elixir pumps. Let's go ahead and get another giant skeleton and Hog Rider push with the bomber in the back, and at this point this guy gave up. But that is so dumb. Look at the Hog Rider trying to get around the giant skeleton. I think they need to open up the lane for where the troops can move a little bit more, because that is so frustrating to get the Hog Rider stuck behind cards. We're going to go ahead. I want my fire spirits to get on that tower to take it down, and luckily the first one did jump on it, and we were able to take down that tower for a 3-crown victory. I give him a well played, good game. He gave up because we took that tower, and we were able to grab a 3-star victory. So now we're going back home, and I'm just going to show you guys all this live, back-to-back wins. Because this deck surprised me. I've actually built 2 really good decks. I might show the other one in tomorrow's video, but both of these decks I've gotten 3 crowns on, and I've been winning a lot. So I've kind of thrown the Royal Giant to the side for a little bit. I haven't completely given up on it. It's still a great card, but I wanted to try out some different decks right now. This guy is rocking a Furnace deck, and it's actually not a bad card. And this guy's a level 10 and has his Inferno or his Furnace upgraded to level 7. That's pretty pretty big. And this guy is dropping down a huge push with a bunch of his small cards. Even though that doesn't look like a lot, trust me, it is a decent push. Now we have to push our Hog Rider to get the giant skeleton on that Inferno Tower. He zaps us, which was a smart play on his part because it made my Hog Rider not be able to take that Inferno Tower down quick enough to be able to get back to that tower, but we did get the left tower down a little bit with that bomber. I almost dropped down my pump right next to the other pump. That would have been bad if he would have had a fireball or a rocket especially. But instead of dropping down his own pump, he decided to drop down a furnace next to each other, which I was simply able to fireball one of them out of the game. So what the smarter play to do is, if I was attacking his right-hand tower, is to drop the furnace on the right-hand lane. It slows down the troops a little bit. I dropped the 1 elixir skeletons to stop the little fire spirits from getting to my tower. Ouch, one of those fire spirits actually got to me. I'm going to go ahead, throw my Hog Rider in front, threw the fireball right there, and look at that. The giant skeleton doesn't waver, goes straight towards that ice wizard, and then was able to get next to the tower, and once it explodes, 900 damage off on that tower. Wow, we've gotten lucky with our giant skeleton in both of these matches now. We were able to get the giant skeleton actually to the tower because it's very difficult to actually get him to the tower. That's the main difficult with him. But once you do get him to the tower, he does damage on his own, plus his giant bomb that he carries does even more damage. I've seen a lot less of him used now that he, it takes what, a couple seconds, 3 seconds I believe, for the giant bomb to go off. This time, with this push, I decided to drop my Inferno Tower up top because I want to stop and help the giant skeleton get to the tower. So it did help me out a little bit by taking out the Ice Wizard, but it doesn't look like we were able to get the giant skeleton to the tower that time. But we got the regular skeleton going up, only gets 1 shot off of the Inferno Tower, and actually with that bomb throw that the bomber did, it actually did not hit the tower. So I'm having a little difficulty now. The guy's kind of figuring out my play style, and once again we do not get to the tower. Fireball both of those furnaces. I'm like, what do I do at this point? This guy has 3 furnaces down, and I look down at my arena, or my tower right now, and I realize how low it actually is. So I need to start going on the defense a little bit because this battle can go either way right now. And he actually gets a couple more shots off with his Ice Wizard. So you know what? At this point, I'm like, I need to take my fireballs and just start throwing them at his tower. And basically, I'm just going to start putting all my defenses down in front of my building, in front of my tower, in order to stop him. He has a lot of cheap cards. He's basically doing like a small spawner push with this deck that he has. So what we need right now is just another fireball, and we were able to grab it right there. Once he figured out our play style, it was a lot easier for him to stop us, but by then we got his tower down enough to where it took like 3 or 4 fireballs to take him out of the game, and we grab another win with that one. So we're going into our next game. As you can see, I'm not editing any of this, a little bit probably, just to speed when I stop at the end of each game to kind of talk with you guys. But everything is pretty much all the way through, showing you guys 3 wins back to back to back. We drop in the elixir pump down again, and look at this. We already can tell what we're dealing with, which is a spawner deck. And I do not have a deck for a spawner deck. My deck is like anti-spawner deck. The Inferno Tower does not do good against spawner decks. And I did this stupid decision. I decided to attack the side that the barbarians were coming on. If I decided to attack the other tower, I would have done a lot better with this push. Dumb decision on my point. This guy does a great job stopping me right here, but I do get the Hog Rider on top of his tower. Big Bomb blows up, took down those barbarians that were almost dead anyways, and now I have the Musketeer coming down with the Hog Rider. So I'm going to throw down my Inferno Tower along with my Larrys, throwing them down, and look at that. They're still able to take out a Musketeer pretty darn quickly. I don't mind that. And now I have 2 barbarians coming down at me, and I really don't know what to play. I really don't want to waste any of my elixir right now. So I decided to just bear up, take the damage right now, and drop down the elixir collector as he drops down a goblin hut as well. So I had to decide what I wanted to do. I decided to throw down Bomber at this point. And once he throws down another one of his spawners, I decided to switch it up. I finally realized what I wanted to do. So I get a push going on the right hand side, and once I get enough for my Hog Rider, I'm going to go ahead and throw him on the left hand side while he's wasting all of Elixir trying to stop my push over here. As you can see, all that going on, he has probably no elixir right now. Big bomb goes off. I don't know what's taking me so long. I thought I did this a little bit quicker. Look at that. He wastes a fireball, so you know he's down to absolute 0 elixir. We go ahead. We get the Hog Rider on top of his tower. I'm going to throw some fire spirits as well down, and the barbarians pop out at the wrong time, but the fire spirits did take them down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and throw a fireball as well on top of him to get down that musketeer a little bit for our Larrys to take her out, and we were able to take down that Hog Rider without too much trouble. But the spawners on the right hand side still keep doing damage to us. We get the Hog Rider on his tower again. We get the Bomber again as well, but it wasn't doing any damage to the tower. But look at that, I got the Bomber again. I really didn't know what to play. Right here was the wrong play. I decided to drop down my giant skeleton, and now I have the Hog Rider on top of my tower. Use the zap to get rid of our Larrys, and we basically getting both of our towers down, but we do have his tower down to 256, and look at that, the Hog Rider doesn't go after the Barbarian Hut, and we grab that tower right there. So pretty much we need to buckle down and hold on for the last few seconds while we get this victory. 5 seconds left. We're just going to go throw down a fireball just in case something crazy happens, but match is over, and we got 3 wins in a row. This guy was not too happy with that win at all, but we do get to grab another 30 trophies, and that's 3 wins in a row with this just crazy deck that I made up on the spot. So this deck was really good. I'm glad I ended up finally recording it. I got lucky because I got a couple wins in a row. I was like, you know what, I'll start recording this, and I got 3 more wins in a row. So a decent deck. I don't know how long this will last. Maybe I ran into some bad players. Maybe this is a good deck, but look at that. We grab a giant skeleton in our free crown chest that we got for the day. That's pretty cool. If you want to add the 4 skeleton from the 1 elixir skeleton card, go ahead, add the giant skeleton. Great card, great deck, did a great job with it. And as you can see, we're building up, and we have enough money to get the fire spirits to level 10. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade them as well. My first level 10 common card. Awesome. I was happy to get those guys up because I love using that card. Them and the Bombers are probably my 2 favorite cards right now. But there it is, you guys. Crazy deck. I wanted to add this in since they took away the 4th skeleton. I thought this would be a fun deck to do, and it turned out to be a good deck as well. Well, there it is, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And now it's time for everybody's favorite game, Stinky Pinky. It's time to play the game Stinky Pinky, a word game called Stinky Pinky. Everybody loves the game Stinky Pinky. It's time to play the game Stinky Pinky, a word game called Stinky Pinky. I'm the best at Stinky Pinky. Everybody loves the game Stinky Pinky. Stinky Pinky is a wordplay game where you describe 2 words that rhyme, but you can't use those words in the description. If I was to give you Smelly Finger, you would give me Stinky Pinky. Last video Stinky Pinky was Brutal Devastate, and the answer was Savage Ravage. And the Clash Bro got the answer correct first was Reagan Kendrick. Great job, man. You deserve a fish sandwich.
Too early to get a fish sandwich?
Hold your Stinky Pinky high up in the air, Reagan. You are today's winner. If you'd like to be featured in my next video, all you have to do is be the first person to answer the correct Stinky Pinky in the comments. This video Stinky Pinky will be Ship Drift. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to show all your love by smashing the like button. Want to join the Clash Bro family? All you have to do is subscribe. Hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget my Clash Bros to stay beautiful.
Make it drop, honey.